Hello, welcome to this video. We're going to be talking about text in this video, and not much to it. It should be a pretty quick video. I think presentation is a big part of this, and also there's different things that text can do. So you need to be aware of that as well. If you plan on having a number of tasks on one of these applets, you might want to make it so all of the texts maybe are in the top and that or wherever you decide to put it, but they all line up just so that it doesn't look all over the place. I mean, it might be a lot more pleasing to the eye when you do that. Now you could just sort of estimate and go like that, and then put this one right here. But if you wanted to be exactly precise with that, I'm going to show you what you would do. You would change this to fixed to grid. Once you change it to fixed to grid, um, you'd be allowed to put it anywhere along these lines right here, along the grid lines, right? So it could go there, could go there, could go there. Now, if you wanted to go up one, well, then it falls off. So there's a problem. So if you are having that problem where the difference between the grid lines is too big, then you can go into object properties and you can make it smaller. So let's just do that right now. So I'll go to x-axis and set the distance is 4. I'm going to set it to 1. And then again with y-axis, I'm going to make this smaller. I'll set that to 1. And then when I come up here, this one that was moving around, I can put it right there. And it's easy to tell where that will be. So if I wanted to just have that come up when a equals 1, I would say object properties. I would click on this right here, and then where it says advanced right here, I would just write a equals 1. This is something that I do if I have a number of things that I want kids to do on an assignment. I'll have different tasks for them. So the first one will be x1, then the next one they go to this one. So but if I can make sure, as long as I'm on fixed to grid, that when I move this guy, it will be in the exact same spot. So if you notice, like right there and right there, that's the same spot. So now I just want to say to this one, let's go to object properties again, and we'll say this selected text is going to go equals to. Okay, so that's how that looks. Now, the content of this is important too. This text, I just didn't make it for to show that, but it says absolute position sticks to the screen. Otherwise, it will be on the grid. You may want to make it so it cannot be selected as well. So so what we mean by that is that if I happen to move this, if I go to move graphics view, and I move this, although it's stuck right now. So I opened up a grid where I limited the x and y axis. So I can't show you that on this actually, but it's something that you should check out when you open up a grid. If the grid can move by this here tool, if you can move the grid by using that, then when you put something text on the grid, it will move around. The way around that is to go like this. When you select this text, you go to this right here, absolute position on the screen. This is something that you should put, so that now this is going to stick to the screen, whereas before it was sticking to the grid underneath. So if you move the grid, it will move along with it. The other thing that I like to do with text is to well, I like to color them different colors, but the other thing that is good for me is that I like to uncheck selection allowed. And what that means is that if you have this text right here, you can't even select it. So that means by accident someone wouldn't be able to, let's say, go here, go click on that, and then press delete. If they press delete, it's going to be gone. So when it's selected. So that's something that that I prefer, to keep it unchecked selection allowed. The other thing with text is that in some kids, on the first days of using GeoGebra, they'll be entering in the text box an answer to something. So it'll look like this, and they'll just keep writing and writing and writing. And it'll fall off the screen if they do that. So you do have to sort of budget your space and press enter however big you want it. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to, again, space it right there, and I'm going to attribute it to a equals 3. So I believe it's, there's equals 2, so I'll go to a equals 3. And so those are my first 3. So I have one right there, one right there, and one right there. So, okay, so the next one that I want to show you is this one right here. And this just talks about the latex formula. I just say that the latex formula isn't ideal. And you can notice what's happening up here. This is what the text looks like. You can see right here. And if I don't have these spaces right here in between each one, like I'll put another one in right there. That's what a space looks like, and it pushes out a little bit. So I had to put a space in between each of these words. Otherwise, if I don't have those spaces, it looks like one continuous word. So it would look like this. Even if I have the space up here, it will still look like one continuous word. So the latex formula isn't ideal. I mean, typically when I'm using latex formula, the only reason why I use it is to access some of these things right here. So I'm going to redo this just to see how it looks. So I'll just say latex formula, and if I want, say, a fraction, you can use all these things where you input different values. So I'll go like this, and then in place of A, I will write, let's say, H, and then in place of B, although no, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. I don't want to write H. I want to write the object that I want to use. So I'm going to go H right here, and then I'm going to use, for the other one, I'm going to use, let's say, G right there. So now I'm just making this as a fraction. So it's 2 over 6.9, and you notice these values, if I change it, if I turn this on, the value of G, I believe it is, it changes with that. So you do want to use these letters as opposed to just putting in the number that you want. That's very similar to what I wrote up here, and that is, I wrote G for that, and you can see the G, if that changes again, it's, yeah, 7.8. I also have a few other points here I have on this, so let me move this over here. Although I can't move this as I'm doing, but you see the A and the B, those values right there and there, and then in 2.5 is the length of L right there. So A and B and L, those are all represented, so that when I move these points around, the values get updated in here, sort of. I mean, it's in real time. It's exactly as it is on the text. So that's nice to have that. And you notice the size of it, 6.71 goes there. So so the last thing is just sort of a just to reinforce. 2 is not the same as 2. That's what it says, but you notice the H is different, so that if we anytime we change H, I got to change it up here, but these values will always be in flux. So if I go like this, 4, then all of a sudden this is changed 4 as well. So it's just important for you to know that we can input values, and if we do, we'll help to facilitate newer problems, so that if we're saying something, like, if we have it in our text, what something is, we can show it quickly with the updated values.